Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
This is a catastrophe.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
That's what I wished for when I blew out my candle.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
The floor is yours.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Wednesday. About half the work week in the rearview mirror. Appreciate you hanging out with us here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Got Jordan Kitchens, Cassie Spazzali back there on the ones and twos. Brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools, and plenty to get to on this hump day. What If Wednesday, 30 minutes from now. If you're following the Bayou Ford chat there on YouTube, hit us up with what your what ifs are. We got some rolling in on Twitter right now. We'll hear a little bit of sound from Frank Wilson later on in the show. New Orleans Saints. What are the expectations for Tyler Shough? We'll do that in hour number 2. JD Picell will be with us in hour 2 as well. And our updated edition of the SEC Football Power Rankings will be at the bottom of hour number 2. So lots to do. Let's crank it up like we do every day. It's our Genesis Opening Drive.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive, presented by Genesis of Baton Rouge.
All right, I want y'all to take this segment for what it is, not more than what it is, just what it is. This is not meant to be pessimistic. This is not meant to be anti or nega Tiger. This is purely kind of based on timing and just food for discussion. It's my opinion. It is not fact. So I'm just suggesting that if we try from October the 27th through November 30th, January 5th, January 19th, like if we try to do that and say, well, this guy's going to be the coach. Well, this guy might be the coach. Well, is this guy going to be the coach? Is he going to be the coach? That's going to be a lot of, is he going to be the coach? We got a long way to go before LSU hires another football coach. We've got a lot of things that have to happen in the background before LSU hires a football coach. So I just can't bring myself to do I'm on 10 hours a week. I can't do 7 hours a week. What if this guy's the coach? What if this guy's the coach? What if this guy's the coach? And go through every single candidate. I just feel like that's going to be a lot. It's just my opinion. Y'all are in text message change, no doubt. Y'all are talking at the dinner table, at the restaurant, on the golf course, at church, on the fishing hole, in the deer stand. Maybe you can't. You can talk in the deer stand? Can you talk in the deer stand? I don't know. I've never been in a deer stand. There's talk going on. A lot of talk going on about the coaching deal. So the point that I made this morning when I filed my column at LouisianaSports.net was, here are some names that are popping up, and I just don't think so. I don't think they're going to be the next coach at LSU. So put together 5 guys that I don't think are going to be the next coach of LSU, and I told you why. Trust me, y'all are well aware. I'm wrong all the time. This is my opinion. I don't think these 5 guys are coming. The first has been brought up a lot. He coached here. Did pretty well. Won a championship. I'm told, pretty good coach. He's not coming here. It's Nick Saban. Nick Saban is not coming here for a number of reasons. He turns 74 years old on Friday. He walked away from his job at Alabama. By the way, almost won the national semifinal and then walked away. And he walked away, and he said since that he didn't like the transactional nature of the players saying they wanted more money. They still do. He didn't love the fact that the players could just come and say, hey, I'm going to transfer. They still do. And he said he couldn't work the hours that he needed to do the job to his standard. I don't think 2 years after he said that, he's found some sort of magical fountain of youth. I get that even if Nick Saban was hired somewhere this year, it would not be with the intention that he was going to work 8 to 10 more years. It would be a 3 to 4 year deal. And because of the transfer portal and the fact that you can overhaul your roster immediately and the fact that he would command a lot of respect and a lot of people want to come play for him, he could probably have a pretty good season the first year. I just don't think he's doing it. And if he does come back and coach, I think it's going to be in the NFL where he's got a roster, he's got a quarterback, he's got a general manager, and the hours aren't as much, and he's not babysitting. Like, I don't see it. I don't see Nick Saban coming back to the NIL, transfer portal world, and pressure cooker of the SEC that requires all those hours of recruiting and recruiting your own roster and do it, everything that's involved in it. I don't think he's doing it at 74 years old. I just don't. I don't think Nick Saban is going to be the head coach at LSU. Here's my take on this. You can be one side of this or the other. Here's where I am on the Nick Saban thing. I think it's no chance. I'm willing to go out and say I think it's no chance. Again, I've been wrong plenty of times. It just doesn't make sense to me. Here's next up. This is a name that gets brought up a lot. This is a name that a lot of people really want to come to LSU. I don't think it's happening. I think it's Dan Lanning, head coach at Oregon. You could put him in the discussion with Kirby Smart and Ryan Day like atop the sport. Now, Ryan Day's got a national championship. Kirby Smart's got multiple national championships. Dan Lanning does not. But he's got a team that's really good every year. He's got a team that recruits like crazy. They're relevant. Last year, he's probably the second best team in the country. Got a terrible draw because Ohio State lost to Michigan, and Ohio State went out there and beat them. But they're good again this year. He's got a really passionate fan base. That's important. He's got a really talented roster. That's important. He's got the mega booster. That's really important. And he's got everything you could want at Oregon, and they don't have the relentless expectation that a multi-time national championship program has. Like, Oregon expects him to win a national championship at some point, but like, if you keep knocking on the door, Oregon likes that. They're happy with that. He becomes a legend doing that if he sits there and does it long enough, and the odds are he probably breaks through and wins one. Why leave that situation where you've got a booster with endless funds, almost literally, not literally, but almost literally endless funds. You've got a program that's humming. You're recruiting very well. You're in a conference that prints money. Like, the only thing I can think of for Dan Lanning that Oregon's not great for is it's really hard to get to for the recruits, and it's really hard to get to and get out of to go play. You got to fly across the country to go play conference games. But what's an extra 90 minutes on the plane on Friday and on Sunday? Like, I think he'll live. So I just don't see LSU as being a significant step up from Dan Lanning's current position. They're going to pay him. They're going to pay the roster. They've got the facilities. They've got the fan base. They're in the conference. Like, if Oregon and LSU were both kind of at the same level, kind of mediocre, if Oregon was where LSU is right now and LSU is where LSU is right now, and you're the head coach at Georgia Tech and you're deciding which job to take, like, I can see you taking LSU, but Lanning's already got Oregon where it is. I just don't see it. I don't think Dan Lanning's the next coach at LSU. Joe Brady's gotten tossed about a bunch. Joe Brady's 36 years old. He has never been a head coach in his life. NFL coordinators make about $2 million annually. LSU can do a lot better than that. He can make a lot more money than that. But he's never hired a staff. He's never run a practice. And oh, by the way, he's currently coaching the most talented quarterback in the NFL. There are going to be opportunities for him at the NFL level that doesn't require recruiting, that doesn't require babysitting 19-year-olds that think they deserve more money, that doesn't involve traveling all over the country to do that recruiting and then running camps and handling the NIL structure and dealing with the boosters who want this and that. He's got Josh Allen. And if he keeps putting up points with Josh Allen, somebody's going to hire him to be the coach of an NFL team, or he still don't have to babysit 19-year-olds. I feel like Joe Brady is not a great fit for LSU. I would be very skeptical of that hire from an LSU perspective. And I feel like it's just not the direction he wants to take things. Joe Brady did an awesome job here at LSU. But teaching Steve Ensminger to spread the field is not the same as running LSU's football program. And I just don't see Joe Brady abandoning the situation he's in to come to LSU and run the entire operation. Because you see how quickly things can go south. You get paid a lot of money. And look, for the Lanning thing, travel makes sense. For the Brady thing, money makes sense. I just don't think the big picture makes sense. And I'm kind of on that same page with Kelvin Shepherd. Tiger, great. An absolute great at LSU. Was the heart and soul of a couple John Chavis defenses. Then he came after his long NFL career and worked on Ed Orgeron's staff as a director of development. Didn't get a job on the field, so he went to the NFL, went to the last place he played, Detroit, and they gave him a chance. And now he's 37. He's running a defense for a 5-2 team. And again, it's the same thing as Brady. Like, he's with a really stable organization that just lost both coordinators, is winning a lot of games still. I'm sure it's a pretty comfortable place to work in terms of the environment that Dan Campbell has created there. And he's never done it before. So if you're LSU, do you want to hire a guy who's never done anything like this to come do it at his alma mater just because he played here and his defense has played really well for 7 weeks? I don't know about that. Joe Brady and Kelvin Shepherd are so green in the coaching world. This is a big, big job, a big, big operation. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense for Kelvin Shepherd to come down and do this, or for LSU to think that Kelvin Shepherd is the guy when he's never done anything like this. Those are my top 4. I got one more. Saban, no. Lanning, no. Brady, no. Shepherd, no. 5th, Frank Wilson. Let me talk to you about Frank Wilson, because you know, his Louisiana ties run deep. Loves the state of Louisiana, loves LSU. He's been a head coach at 2 different places. Record, not great. He's worked at Ole Miss. He's worked at Tennessee. He's the interim head coach now that's charged with keeping this group together as they move forward. Every single thing I just laid out to you applies to Ed Orgeron. Been a head coach elsewhere, from Louisiana, deep Louisiana ties, loves LSU, worked at Ole Miss, worked at Tennessee, interim head coach. It's the whole thing. And I just don't think LSU is going to go down that road. I think Frank is a massive asset to this football program. And I don't want to suggest, in the same way I don't want to suggest to Kelvin Shepherd or Joe Brady, like, can't do the job. I just don't think it's the best fit, to use that bad term, at this time. I think LSU needs a reset and to move in a completely different direction. And right now, I think if that new direction doesn't involve Frank Wilson on the staff, it's foolish. I think whoever comes in next needs to understand the errors that Brian Kelly made in running off some key parts of this program. Frank Wilson absolutely is that. But he was 26-40 at UTSA and McNeese. I don't see a lot to suggest he's going to have LSU knocking on the playoffs door from that. Now, it was a different era, different time, different programs, different everything. UTSA was an upstart. McNeese is FCS. I get it. It's not the same. It's not apples to apples. But I think Frank's job here is to keep this program on the rails right now, try to keep some of these guys committed, hopefully keep his office when the new coach comes in, and keep making LSU better. Because Frank Wilson's made LSU better his first time around here as assistant coach, this time around as assistant coach, and now as an interim head coach. He'll make LSU better. But I don't think he's going to be the head coach at LSU next time around. So that's my 5 that I just don't see being LSU's next head coach. Nick Saban, Dan Lanning, Joe Brady, Kelvin Shepherd, Frank Wilson. I could be dead wrong. And I'm probably, if I'm dead wrong, we'll come back to this segment and play the audio when the guy is to the podium and go, look how stupid this guy is. But that's what I think right now. I think that the LSU coach right now is a head coach somewhere that's winning games. And that does not apply to Nick Saban. It does apply to Dan Lanning, but I don't think he's the guy. It doesn't apply to Joe Brady. It doesn't apply to Kelvin Shepherd, and it doesn't apply to Frank Wilson. I think that the next head coach is a head coach who's winning games currently. I don't think it's Dan Lanning. That's where I am. That's our opening drive, brought to you by Genesis of Baton Rouge. We're brought to you on Wednesdays by Renaissance Homes and Pools. You can check them out at builtbyrenaissance.com. Builtbyrenaissance.com. We will step aside. When we come back, let's hear a little bit of sound from Ed Orgeron. Ed Orgeron, what? Well, he was asked, would you come back to LSU as the head coach? Would you come back to LSU as an assistant if one of your colleagues took that job? Coach O had answers. We'll give them to you next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. SwingEasyGCBR.com is that website. They are on Segan near Perkins. Awesome spots. Just go hang out, hit some golf shots. Ton of fun. I've done it multiple times over the last few weeks. You go in, you get in that private bay. There's comfortable seating there. There's a television there, and they've got the golf simulator all fired up for you. You can just hang out with your buddies, drink a couple of cold beers. They got seltzers. They got wine. unwind a little bit. Put the simulator on Pebble Beach. Put the simulator on TPC Sawgrass. Put it on TPC of New Orleans, if you might have played, which hosts a PGA Tour event. You can hit some shots, play some holes. It involves putting. You hit your chip shots as well. See how far you can drive it. All your stats are there. It's just a great place to go hang out indoors, control climate. It's a gorgeous fall day right now. We know all the days around here aren't gorgeous. Some hot, some cold. It's about to get dark early starting next week. Everything's controlled at Swing Easy Golf Club. Go hang out and hit some golf balls. SwingEasyGCBR.com. They are on Siegen at Perkins. Swing Easy Golf Club. SwingEasyGCBR.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home, with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Family-owned and community-driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
First, real day and it feels like fall out there. I got sleeves on, had the kiddo in a jacket this morning. It actually feels like fall today. It really won't this weekend when the high's up in the 70s, near 80 degrees. But it pretty well signifies pool season's about over. So your time to get into a pool this year is about done, as we're in November here in South Louisiana. But if you want to make sure that next springtime, certainly next summer, you've got that pool of your dreams, right now is the time to start having those conversations with Renaissance Homes and Pools. Joey Blanchard, just an awesome guy to work with. He's the owner of the company. He's helped dozens and dozens of people in Baton Rouge put that pool of their dreams in. So if you're looking to get into that pool and want to do it with somebody that's local, that's going to be there every step of the way, be there for the consultation, be there for the design, be there for the dig, be there for the fill, be there for the finish, all the way through, you'll be able to get in touch with them. Joey is that guy. So go start your process, Built by Renaissance, today. See some of the great designs, the pools that they've done. You can customize it to whatever your specs are, whatever stage of life you're in. But he's happy to make that dream a reality for you. Get into it for next spring and summer. It's builtbyrenaissance.com. Renaissance Homes and Pools, they bring you our Wednesday shows. All right, what if Wednesday in 10 minutes? This is some interesting stuff. Unsportsmanlike morning show here, ESPN Radio National. Evan Cohen had Ed Orgeron on the show today, and he answered some questions very truthfully about what's going on at LSU and potentially the future at LSU. And Evan Cohen didn't mince words. He asked Ed Orgeron, like, hey, would you consider returning as the head coach of LSU? I don't think you'll have to guess what Ed Orgeron had to say, but here it is.
Do you want to be the next LSU head coach?
Oh, I'd love to. You kidding me? Hey, I'm one phone call away. Hey, I just got to get in my truck. I'll be back. I could be there today.
If someone specifically became the head coach, would you be willing to be his assistant? And that someone is someone you've been close with and worked with, Lane Kiffin. Would you ever go back to be an assistant?
Yeah, I consider it. I love LSU. I still got my home in Baton Rouge. I love when I coached with Coach Miles, being the defensive line coach. I love the Tigers, and I'm getting back to coaching. For sure, I consider it, no doubt.
Look, it's interesting. Hey, if nothing less, I'll tell you this. From this seat where I do interview people time to time, it's a good question by Evan Cohen, and he got a real truthful answer from Ed Orgeron. Yeah, I'd be the head coach at LSU. I love LSU. Well, how about this? Because you figure Ed Orgeron's probably not going to be the hire. That's just a guess from my part, thinking probably not going to be the hire. But it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that Lane Kiffin would take this job. Not completely out of the realm of possibility. And Ed Orgeron tried to hire Lane Kiffin in 2016 into 17. He tried to, but Kiffin was at Bama. He ended up getting the Florida Atlantic job and didn't come, and that's when LSU scrambled and ended up with Matt Canada. But those two guys have worked hand-in-hand at Southern Cal, worked hand-in-hand at Tennessee, have a great relationship, and Kiffin was going to come work here at LSU and leave Alabama for it, but he got the head job. I can't tell you it's completely out of the question if Lane Kiffin took this job that Ed Orgeron would be an assistant here. And it wouldn't be completely unprecedented. We just watched Bobby Petrino become the offensive coordinator at Arkansas. We just saw that. So it's fascinating to look at. And, Ed Orgeron was the toast of this place in 2019. Then things soured a little bit in 20, and they went completely off the rails in 21. I'll tell you this, there'd be some mixed emotions around this place with Ed Orgeron coming back. And I think he's a really good defensive line coach. I think he's a really good recruiter. I think he knows the state of Louisiana very well. And none of those were problems when he was the head coach here. And if you tell me that he's going to be here to run camps and to coach defensive linemen and to build relationships with high school coaches and 18-year-olds, he's pretty good at it. It surprised me to hear that, though, because you realize, like, when a place takes your dream away, it's hard to feel like you can go back to that. But you'll hear in some sound we're going to play here a little bit later that he appears open to that, which kind of surprised me a little bit. You hear coaches all the time answer questions like that. Would you come back and say, well, I would never speculate on anything like that. I'm interested in coming back to coaching, and whatever opportunity presents itself, I'll certainly take a look at it. That's not what he said. He said, oh, I consider that. Yeah, absolutely. I love LSU. So there's Coach Shough potentially being the head coach here or coming to work for Lane Kiffin on the defensive side of the ball. Now, there was more in this interview on Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio about the expectations at LSU, and Ed Orgeron talked about what Brian Kelly ran into.
The expectations at LSU is to win a national championship. And the pressure starts to rise around the third year. And they give you time to give you the facilities, they give you the money that you need. And if you don't reach that, there's going to be some rumblings. But you can see the team has regressed, having 3 losses in the conference. And what Texas A&M did to LSU at Tiger Stadium at night, and then what they did after, was an embarrassment to me, all the state of Louisiana. I'm not blaming Brian Kelly. It's just the whole thing has seemed to unravel and fall apart. So I think that's the reason.
There's something to unpack there. When he said that's an embarrassment to me, I said the same thing. Now, I'm an LSU alum. I do the pre- and post-game for LSU. I've been a fan my entire life. LSU has never harmed me in any way in terms of firing me. And then you've got the side that, it's the whole deal like when your girlfriend breaks up with you, you don't want her to do better than you. And so there's a part of you that kind of roots against things once you're out of the picture. And Ed Orgeron has gone on this media tour. He's gone and done the whole Barstool thing. He was at the Ryder Cup, with Roback. He's going on ESPN Radio's national broadcast there. I don't know exactly how Ed Orgeron feels about the whole thing. I don't know Ed Orgeron. But it was interesting to hear him say that. And then my wheels start turning like, does he really mean that because he's a deep Louisiana guy who doesn't want to see Texas A&M dancing on LSU's grave? Or is there a part of him that just wants to take a little shot at the coach who was hired to do a lot better than him that did not do a lot better than him? I'll never know. I don't really care. It's an interesting thought. It doesn't really matter, quite frankly. But I felt the same way. I told you after the game on the postgame show, on Monday's show here, it was the most embarrassing thing I've ever watched in Tiger Stadium was to watch A&M do all that goofy stuff in that end zone while LSU couldn't compete with their team on the field. That was a low point. And, I think Ed Orgeron was certainly watching that. He didn't, however, agree or like the fact that Brian Kelly was fired in the middle of the season. He doesn't like any of those, and he kind of alluded to that in the interview as well.
I don't like it, okay? Think about the guys that worked hard all summer for their season. What about winning football games? What about finishing the season? Giving those guys a chance. And now we have all these jobs open, and all these kids are wondering, hey, where's my coach? What's going to happen? And kind of ruins the season for most kids. And I understand the pressures of the transfer portal, and I understand that people get sick and tired of the coach, but I wish that they would wait till the end of the season and let this thing play out.
I'm with him there. I really am. This is a me thing. This is a Hunt thing. I just don't like how quickly so many college football teams, quote unquote, check out. I don't like how quickly the season ends, and there's no good way to fix that because I don't want the NCAA basketball tournament expanding to 115 teams, and I don't want the college football playoff to be 30 teams because I do want the regular season to mean something, yes. But also the fact that we're just dumping coaches in September now, middle of October now, is just an indication of just how fast your goals fly off the table in college football. And it's something that I've talked about the last couple of days. I'm not going to belabor the point, but I do feel for the players who were essentially told in late September, mid-October, hey, by the way, nobody up in the administration gives a rip about what goes on the next couple of months. Like, we've already pulled the plug on your coach, pulled the plug on your season. Like, we're on to the next. And you can sit here and say, well, we actually fire them because we want them to get a new voice and give them a chance to feel a breath of fresh air before the end of the season. And I hear you here and there, but the point remains that the kids know that the program's moving in a different direction. And there are a lot of kids there that know that they're not going to be in Baton Rouge next year. And there are a lot of coaches who now know that they got to find a new job, and this is just a temporary placeholder situation. It's just an odd situation for everybody when the plug is pulled so early in this thing. But it happened with Les. It's happened with Brian Kelly. It happened with Ed Orgeron. Look around at Billy Napier and James Franklin and Trent Dilfer. Like, it's happening all over the country, and it's just a bummer. I just don't think that happens as much in baseball or basketball. Like, it happens in basketball, like it happens a little bit. In baseball, it really doesn't. But just like you to go out there and try to finish, try to compete. Now, hopefully LSU does that. There's probably a reason that Orgeron's a really good interim coach because he has that kind of mentality, and I think Frank Wilson shares a lot of that DNA as well. But it was an interesting interview with that Orgeron, who's open to a return to LSU. See if that ends up coming to pass. Our Wednesday show is brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. We'll come back with What If Wednesday next.
The The Hunt Palmer Show.
Genesis of Baton Rouge. GenesisofBatonRouge.com is the website. Every car that's on the lot is online at GenesisofBatonRouge.com. Look, it's a luxury brand. It's luxury experience at a reasonable price. So when I say luxury brand, luxury vehicle, you have some brands that pop up in your mind. Genesis should be right there among those lists. When you go by and see the dealership, Airline at PQ, and you get behind the wheel of one of these vehicles, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Right now, you're just taking my word for it because most of you haven't been behind the wheel of a Genesis. But just make that choice to go check it out. Let one of their brand ambassadors help you. You know you're in one of the safest cars in the road. Every single model in the line is an IIHS top safety pick. And the people that you work with, the warranty that you get once you drive that car off the lot are second to none. It's Genesis of Baton Rouge. Find that inventory at GenesisofBatonRouge.com. GenesisofBatonRouge.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Banking on the go? Our mobile app makes it effortless. But at Campus Federal, you're more than just an account number. We build relationships with our members, supporting you from saving for college to owning your first home. If you're buying a car, planning a home renovation, or a vacation, we're here to help. Campus Federal Credit Union, your trusted financial partner for every stage of life. Start your journey today.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday mornings at 6 on Talk 107.3.
Trust isn't given, it's earned by showing up, leading the way, and performing at your best when it matters most. Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
What are the expectations for Tyler Shough in his debut coming up on Sunday? We'll do that at 2 o'clock. JD Picell, host of the Hard Count on 3 Sports at 2:15. SEC Power Rankings coming up 1 hour from now. Right now, it's What If Wednesday.
Time, space, reality. It's more than a linear path. Where a single choice can branch out into infinite realities. Follow me. And question. What if?
All right. Oh, make sure I get the sound right. Okay, so what if Tennessee baseball falls flat after losing Tony V?
Flat is, flat's probably fair. Fall flat indicates that the whole thing would fall apart. I don't think the whole thing will fall apart. They've got a alumni base and a booster base that's committed to spending some money right now. They've got a brand new stadium. They've got a really good roster entering the season. And I think Josh Elander is a decent baseball coach, but you're going to see it slip because Tony Vitello was just phenomenal at acquiring talent, developing talent, and managing it. And it's just, as I've said many times, the guy next to the guy is very rarely the guy.
Yep.
Josh Elander doesn't have no chance. He just, to me, doesn't have as good a chance as Tony Vitello. So I think Tennessee slips a little bit, and they're closer to 4th or 5th, 6th, 7th in the SEC as opposed to 1 or 2, which is where they certainly are right now.
It's big shoes to fill. That's just naturally what's going to happen. So what if Tony V comes back as Arkansas coach when DVH retires in 2 to 3 years?
It's not a terrible pair of dots to connect. Like, Dave Van Horn is close to the end of his coaching career. Still doing a great job. Still got a great team. I mean, that team they had this past year was really, really, really good. I think LSU fans know that. It's fun to make fun of them because of their exit in Omaha.
They choke a lot.
They were really good. I was scared of them, frankly. And LSU went up there and beat them twice. But Vitello worked there, and it's not like he's a Tennessee alum. So if Elander's doing a pretty good job, and the Giants fire Vitello after 2.5 years, which is likely. Yeah, I mean, if that job's open, Arkansas would be foolish not to call him and hire him. I know that they hate him right now. They wouldn't if he can't. It's like, for Louisville fans, probably not big Rick Pitino fans.
Yeah.
He was coach of Kentucky, won national championships, probably don't like him. Well, he comes to you, wins a national championship for you, you change your tune a little bit. So, yeah, I think that that's not an unrealistic thought.
Okay. So what if LSU loses the Clemson game in 2020? Who is our coach today?
I think Brian Kelly's just been fired. I don't think that changed the timeline at all at Orgeron winning it because he got fired in 2021 after winning it in 2019. So he wasn't, I mean, even if you lose the Clemson game, you've got the COVID 2020 season, whatever.
Yeah, that's a wash.
It's not going to, he wasn't going to and then I don't think that he would have been fired more quickly than he was. So I don't think there's any change if you didn't win the national championship. You just wouldn't have had the claim to the greatest team ever.
If I'm not mistaken, was that 21 season, was that the TJ Finley, Max Johnson?
Yes.
That was.
Well, I mean, the COVID season had TJ Finley, and then you had Max Johnson. The next year was your quarterback in 2021 when O got fired.
Okay. What if oh Lord, I don't like this one. What if BK replaced Matt House after the Ole Miss game in 2023? I don't like seeing House name.
I don't think that would have changed anything either because you lost the opener to Florida State. And then you lost the game against Ole Miss, so now you're making the change at that point.
Embarrassing.
And the only other loss you had after that was Alabama. And I still think you would have lost because Jaden Daniels got targeted and got knocked out of the game. Yeah. So, Dallas Turner, what a ridiculous... How that was not ruled targeting, I'll never know. Forcible contact, crown of the helmet, head and neck area, ridiculous. And nobody blew the whistle on targeting. I have no idea how. But I don't think it changes. I think LSU finishes with the same record.
What if the Friends writer didn't cheat us out of Joey and Phoebe being a couple?
Well, then we wouldn't have had Mike, Paul Rudd, which was a great part of the show.
Such a good actor.
And I'll tell you this, what it would have done was it would have hopefully eliminated the episodes, there was like 3 of them, where Joey and Rachel were an item. I can't watch them. I cannot watch those. It's just not... It's just bad. I prefer. I need Ross and Rachel. I do not need Joey and Rachel. When those, I can't watch this. I don't even know what happens in those episodes. I've seen them a few times, but it's been many, many years. So I would have been okay with Phoebe and Joey, but that'd have been. It had weird kids.
Cassie doesn't agree. Cassie's over here disgusted. Okay, what if we hired Lane Kiffin, who kept Frank Wilson and Corey Raymond, didn't hire Coach O as a D-line coach?
Again, like, if we're going to be wild with hypotheticals and talk about Dave Van Horn retiring, Tony Vitello taking over for him, that's not that crazy. It's not that crazy for LSU to hire Lane Kiffin. If LSU hired Lane Kiffin, I would be flat stunned if Frank Wilson wasn't on that staff. I mean, stunned. Like, I think it's... I mean, Frank Wilson worked for him at Tennessee. I'm confident Frank Wilson would be on the staff. He would be nuts to let Corey Raymond walk. One coach just did that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and Ed Orgeron just told you he'd be open to being the defensive line coach. Yeah. So LSU's had, let's see, let me count and carry the 70 of them in the last 5 years. So, if you think, hang out for a little bit, I don't think that's the most ridiculous hypothetical I've ever heard of.
No.
And I think that would be a pretty good base to a staff. Now, you got to have a good offensive coordinator with Lane Kiffin. They got Charlie Weiss right now, who's, by the way, the highest paid offensive coordinator in the SEC.
Oh, wow.
And then he's got Pete Golding at defensive coordinator. Golding is a Hammond native who's recruited Louisiana a lot. He would maybe take him. Like, again, it's a what if segment. I'm not forecasting what's happening, but if Lane Kiffin got the job, it's easy to start to point to some of the guys who could theoretically follow him to Baton Rouge.
No, I think it is crucial, though, to keep Corey Raymond. You can't lose DJ Pickett. Just can't lose DJ Pickett.
He's good.
What if Frank Wilson went 3-1? Would he be a lock for the head coaching job?
No, I don't think so. I mean, 1 win's guaranteed. You got the Western Kentucky game.
Yeah.
So if you get the 2 other wins, let's just call it at Oklahoma and against Arkansas. I just don't think that's going to be a lock-in to give him the job. It's a rare case when interim coaches get jobs. Sometimes it has to be a very random, an interesting situation like Tennessee with Tony Vitello, where he left in a very odd spot in the calendar. Yeah. 3-1, I don't think so. I think Frank would have to go 4-0 to be considered, and I still don't know that would tilt the scales.
And that's all we have for What If Wednesday.
All right, I'll scroll through the Bayou Ford chat and see. What if the team finishes 9-3 and miraculously makes the playoff? Does that make the decision tougher? That's in that same line of thinking with Frank. Look,
that would be a miracle.
I'm not going to rule that out. It would be amazing if they did that. And I mean, I don't think there's anybody suggesting this team is completely devoid of talent.
Oh, no.
I mean, the team that Ed Orgeron took over, we were talking to Colin Jeter about it yesterday. The team Ed Orgeron took over, let me try to do this off the top of my head, but it had Leonard Fournette, Darius Geis, Malachi Dupree, DJ Chark, Tre'Davious White, Kendall Beckwith, Arden Key, Jamal Adams.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a loaded team with NFL dudes on that roster. So it's not like out of the question. This is not like, I can't act like I watched one play of this game, by the way, but I'm guessing UAB has no talent. Like they were one of the worst teams in college football this year, and like Trent Dilfer got fired, and they beat Memphis.
Yeah,
like that. Nobody could have forecasted that. You can forecast Ed Orgeron's LSU team beating Missouri. You can forecast them playing with teams down. They had pros all over that team, and this team has got some good players. Are they as good as we thought they were going to be August 15th? I don't think so. I think the offensive line's worse. I think the defense is not quite as good. I think the pass rush is not as good as I thought it was going to be. The wide receivers have not made the plays we thought they might. Maybe that's because the quarterback is a little bit compromised. They're not what we thought they were, but they've got some talent for sure. All right, let me look through the Bayou Ford chat for a little bit more. This is one directly talking to me, so I'll see what it says. Bill Go Baggins. Hunt is only saying it's more embarrassed because of the amount of times he's made fun of Texas A&M and Texags, and they're probably doing the gritty on his internet grave. There's a degree of that, yes. But I'm open about that. It's not like if Alabama comes in here and lays the wood to you like they did in 2020, like that's a program that does that to people. Like, okay, Texas A&M doesn't do that to anybody.
Yeah.
Texas A&M got taken to the wire by Arkansas. They got taken to the wire in Kyle Field by Auburn. They got taken to the wire by Notre Dame as well. Like, it's not like this team, this is not 2019 LSU. This is not 2020 Bama. Like, I've seen LSU get worked in that stadium. Steve Spurrier came in there and smoked LSU twice. One time I was there, one time I wasn't, but I was there for the 2001 one. You're not stunned by that. They beat the brakes off everybody. Texas A&M doesn't do this to anyone. So, that's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to me to watch that fan base come into Tiger Stadium on a Saturday night and do all that garbage. That's embarrassing. I don't know how else to say that. I'm not hiding that. A&M fans would look you straight in the face and feel completely confident saying, yeah, well, we're different now because we got Elko and we're about to be a dynasty.
Yes.
And that's fine if they feel that way. They've still won absolutely zero. Nothing. So that's embarrassing to me. For me to look at the LSU has been what they've been in college football, and Texas A&M's been what they've been in college football, and for them to come in there and do all that goofy garbage in the end zone and laugh at you is ridiculous to me. So yeah, it's the worst I've ever seen in Tiger Stadium. It just is.
And you know what?
You got a bunch of those fans hunched over, looking at those yell leaders doing whoop stuff. That's embarrassing. I don't care who you are. It just is. I can't look at it.
In the same way how you feel, the higher-ups feel the same exact way, the fact that they had to let Brian Kelly go after that. The same way you feel, how you felt about that, they felt the same exact way because that was embarrassing. Seeing Marcel Reed score a touchdown and tripping out in the end zone like he goes to LSU, like, I was like, all right. And the team didn't back it up. So, no, changes had to be made. That was embarrassing.
All right, let's take a timeout. We'll come back and close out the hour next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com is the website. Jonathan Carver and his team, phenomenal folks to work with. They can get you into a captive. If you're a bigger business that's really hurting with your insurance bottom line, you've got good loss history, you've got good risk management, but you feel like you're hurting every year when that renewal comes and every month when that bill is due. Well, I can't promise you fit into a captive, but you won't know unless you talk to Jonathan Carbo and the team at the Highland Insurance Group. If it's never been brought to your attention before, not every broker can do it. Not every broker has the capability of getting your business into a captive, and it can be a game changer. It's a different way to handle your insurance. So reach out to Jonathan Carver and his team at HighlandIG.com. Say, hey, heard Hunt talking about captives. Renewal's coming up. Like, I got to look at another option. It takes some time, takes some due diligence to see if you do fit into a captive. But if you do, the Highland Insurance Group is happy to make that change for you, and it could make a ton of difference for your business. So reach out at HighlandIG.com. It's the Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com.
When it comes to pipe fabrication, time is money. And at River Parish Contractors, we make every second count. Our 36,000 square foot shop is ready to take on your projects right now. With experienced welders, precise fittings, and fast turnarounds you can trust. Whether it's a single custom spool or a full-scale run, we have the capacity and the skill to keep your job on schedule. Call us or visit rpcontractors.com for your quote. That's rpcontractors.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Banking on the go? Our mobile app makes it effortless. But at Campus Federal, you're more than just an account number. We build relationships with our members, supporting you from saving for college to owning your first home. If you're buying a car, planning a home renovation, or a vacation, we're here to help. Campus Federal Credit Union, your trusted financial partner for every stage of life. Start your journey today.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is...
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Looking to get in the pool of your dreams, outdoor kitchen you've always wanted, builtbyrenaissance.com, builtbyrenaissance.com. Closing up hour number 1 here. Frank Wilson was on the SEC coaches teleconference for the first time this morning and was asked about Whit Weeks. And Frank's answer was, I'm paraphrasing here, that, hey, he's not practicing right now, but we got some good news with diagnostics and the prognosis on Monday. And there's possibility he could potentially play in the game against Alabama. Y'all know that Whit went out of the Ole Miss game with that bone bruise, ankle, foot area, tried to give it a go against South Carolina, then has sat the last 2 weeks in losses to Vanderbilt and Texas A&M. And obviously LSU could certainly use him back. I've been asked a couple times, like, how much difference would Whit Weeks make for Pavia running around, for Marcel Reed running around, and all that kind of stuff. And my answer is this. It's that he helps. Does he stop him? No. Is he the reason? Is his injury the reason LSU's defense is taking steps back? No. It's deeper than that. It's not just one guy in the middle that's making all the difference. But he would help. There's no question. Whit Weeks is the captain of this defense. He's third-year player. He's an emotional leader. He's an excellent athlete. He's a high-energy guy who holds people accountable. You want him on the field. And he'll take this week off from practice. I'm confident he will not practice at all this week. He's been in that walking boot. He was in a walking boot on Saturday night. So I don't suggest that that's really close to coming back. But you do have some time between now and the Alabama game. And Whit's one of those guys that doesn't need a ton of practice reps. He would like to get them, obviously, if he could. But he's been in Blake Baker's defense now for a couple of years. He's told us personally in interviews, like, hey, I know this defense like the back of my hand. I know the calls. I know where to be. I know where West is going to be. I know where Harold's going to be. I know what the guys in front of me are doing. He's very comfortable with what he's doing out there. So it's not a guy that needs a ton of reps. He can get some mental reps. They've got those VRs that I shouldn't say VR. I don't think everybody knows what that stands for. Every time he's got the virtual reality stuff that he can use. And so it would help. And this is what I know about Whit. Whit is incredibly competitive. He's incredibly passionate, and he wants to be out there. And I'm sure that it's eating him up not to be out there on the field. So it's way, way, way too early to suggest that Whit's going to play against Alabama. I think it's probably less than a 50% chance he plays in the game against Alabama, but I don't think it's zero. Like, I would have told you it was zero entering the game against Vanderbilt. I was comfortable that was zero. I don't think it's zero for Alabama. And they could really use him because Alabama is going to run the football. And they just need him. In this time for this LSU team, you need emotion. You need passion. You need people to hold other people accountable. Because you realize that when the head coach is removed, that allows everyone to kind of start to have a wandering eye. The coaches know my time is probably up here. There could be holdovers. Who knows? But my time is probably up here. The players, if you're a senior, you know your time's up here and that your goals are off the table from a team perspective. If you're a freshman, you haven't played, and you feel like you want to get a fresh start, you know that your head is in a different place. Like, you got eyes on the NFL and maybe doing things from that perspective. And Whit, I'm not saying Whit can step in and fix all that. He can't. But I think that he would help with some of that. That's the read I get from Whit. That's the read I get from the way that the players respond to him. I have not talked to anybody on or off the record at LSU, players, coaches. I've not talked to anybody that doesn't respect Whit Weeks, that doesn't love to be around Whit Weeks. And, like, how could you not? I mean, y'all have seen videos of him in interviews. Maybe some of y'all have interacted with him. He does a lot of stuff around the city. He's just a lot of fun. He's just a big smiling dude. And not a lot to smile about in that football office building right now, but I promise you, if Whit Weeks is in there right now, he's probably got a big smile on his face because that's just the way he's wired. And I think there's something to that because there's more than just football with LSU right now, right? Like, there's an emotional component to this that is hard to quantify. And Whit Weeks helps it. And so hopefully he can come back. I mean, Devon Keys has played a lot. Devon Keys has been fairly productive. Devon Keys is not Whit Weeks right now. Tylen Singleton, heck of an athlete, easing his way into action. He's not Whit Weeks right now. And Whit's not perfect, but he's productive. It's a guy that, if he had played all 12 games this year, would have come up with over 100 tackles. So if they can possibly get him back on the field in that game in Tuscaloosa, that'd be a huge boon for LSU's defense, and hopefully that's the case. Frank Wilson said they're optimistic with what they saw. They're going to keep giving him treatment. They're going to keep monitoring things, and we're still a full week away from LSU's first injury update, their first availability report for the game against Alabama. But hopefully Whit Weeks can give it a go in Tuscaloosa, because I think that would be a big help to what LSU's trying to get accomplished there in T-Town. That's our first hour here on this Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We're brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. You missed any of it, you can catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. There was a lot to get to. We opened the show today talking about 5 coaches that I do not believe are going to be the pick for LSU. You can find that on YouTube, wherever you find your podcast at Hunt on LSU. You can also read that segment in column form over at LouisianaSports.net for free. Hunt on LSU is where all our LSU content goes. We've got a ton of Saints stuff, as well as SEC stuff, as well as national stuff to get to in the second hour. JD Picell is going to be with us in 20 minutes. He's the host of the Hard Count on 3. We're going to talk all national storylines with him. JD picked LSU to win the national championship. So I want to talk to him about that, why, and what he thinks went wrong from afar. We'll get some thoughts on the national games to come this weekend as well. SEC football power rankings coming your way in 35 minutes. Where are the Tigers? Is there a change to the top spot? You all saw A&M, a lot of you in person on Sunday. Where do they end up in this week's power rankings? And we'll start off hour number 2 with a little bit of Saints talk here. I'm excited to get into that and what the expectations could be for Tyler Shough. Is Cesar Ruiz tradable? Ross Jackson wrote about it. We'll talk about it. We'll pause for national headlines with SportsCenter and come back with more. It's a Wednesday edition of The Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Pivotal Game 5 in the World Series tonight as the Dodgers host the Blue Jays with a series tied 2-2. LA's Blake Snell faces Toronto rookie Trey Savage. After last night's loss, manager Dave Roberts said LA's hitters haven't found their rhythm. As a team, the Dodgers hitting just .213 in the Fall Classic, which is sounding some alarm bells for ESPN baseball reporter Jesse Rogers.
I think the Dodgers are in trouble. I'm not saying they're going to lose, but I think they're a little bit in trouble. I mean, how impressed are you by these Blue Jays who bounce right back? And now the Blue Jays have home field advantage back. And I think the Dodgers are in a little bit of a shaky situation.
Jesse Rogers on Clinton and Friends, Game 5, 7 Eastern, ESPN Radio. NFL Bengals quarterback Joe Flacco, 50-50 to start Sunday against the Bears because of a sprained AC joint in his throwing shoulder. If he can't play, Cincinnati goes back to Jake Browning. Lions edge rusher Aiden Hutchinson's new 4-year, $180 million extension includes $141 million guaranteed. That's the highest among non-quarterbacks in the NFL.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Thursday, the Bills are 4-1 against the Chiefs in regular season games. So is it a must-win for Kansas City? It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
This is a catastrophe.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
That's what I wished for when I blew out my candle.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
The floor is yours.
Hour 2, Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Half that work week officially in the rearview mirror. We are now working towards the weekend. No football in South Louisiana from an LSU and Saints perspective this weekend. You got Tigers on a bye week, Saints out in L.A. It's going to be good weather. So looking forward to a little weekend in the fall here in South Louisiana. And we'll get to Sunday where the Saints will travel to L.A. And that's where I want to start hour 2. Look, I want to be very clear here. This is an exciting Sunday for Saints fans. It really is. This is something that Saints fans have looked forward to for a few years. And this is something really that Saints fans have looked forward to for a couple of generations. Now, it's not quite to the level of when you take a quarterback first overall, you take a quarterback third overall, you trade up to the 5th spot in the draft and take one of those guys that won a Heisman Trophy. It's not that. It's the Saints version of that, though, because they haven't done this. And when Drew Brees was signed, yeah, he's a new quarterback, and yeah, that is exciting to an extent, but he's a little undersized. He was okay in San Diego at the time. I couldn't even get that right in my brain because they've moved. He was okay in San Diego at the time. He's coming off that bad injury. You've got a new coach. Could you have really had a ton of optimism about what Drew Brees was going to be right out of the chute? No one in their wildest dreams could have imagined what was coming there. But ultimately, the root of this discussion is you've got a chance for this to be the next guy. You've got a chance. And when Derek Carr comes back for his 3rd year, that's not going to be the guy. He might win you some games here or there. He's better than some undrafted rookie you chuck out there, but he's not. He's got a ceiling on what he's going to be. right now, as you sit here, like, there's not a huge ceiling on what Tyler Shough could be. Derek Carr had been in the league for a decade. Tyler Shough just thrown a few passes in the NFL. So Sunday, you have the hope, is something new, something exciting, and something that brings a lot of great things for a long period of time. Every NFL team is searching for that quarterback until they find it. And you can point to any team across the league, and I would submit that if you're just Joe Saints fan, like if you are heavily involved in the NFL, which is awesome, like then you probably don't fit into this category I'm about to bring up. But if you're just Joe Saints fan, you watch the Saints on Sundays, you watch the late game in the background, you've got the Sunday night game on, and you're paying attention a little bit while you're getting things prepared for dinner, and like you're a Saints fan that watches a little NFL, not an NFL sicko. But I could still name any team in the NFL, and you would be able to immediately tell.
We're working on getting Hunt back on. His microphone accidentally fell out, but it's good. Piggyback off that. We just need hope, Hunt. That's all we need. Just a little hope, man. That's all Saints fans are asking for is a little hope. We're good.
That was impressive.
Hey, man,
it's such a good monologue there, and then you knocked the microphone off. That's all right. I know where I was. I can get right back to it.
Let's go.
You can tell where any NFL team is in their quarterback journey right that second. Like, I can name the Chicago Bears. Like, right where they are. I can tell you this Arizona Cardinals. You know exactly where they are in their quarterback deal. Jacksonville, same thing. Like, you just know. And the Saints are in the worst spot in the league, I would argue. But that could change in the next 10 weeks. That can change in 10 weeks. Now, we've talked about this. The odds are that it doesn't. That's what the odds suggest. That has nothing to do with Tyler Shough and everything to do with most NFL quarterbacks don't work out. A lot of first-round picks don't work out. Now, you're married to those guys for a while, but most quarterbacks don't work out. And then when it does, then you've got it for 10 years a lot of times. And so what you're looking at on Sunday is an opportunity for the fortunes of the franchise to change. And that's very exciting. Yesterday on the show, I talked about how this is a terrible matchup. This is not the spot I would make the change. The Rams chewed up and spit out Jacksonville last week, 35-7. They chewed up and spit out a backup quarterback with the Ravens, 17-3. They've allowed 10 points in their last 2 games. So it's a bad matchup, but the excitement is there. And so for me, that's what I'm going to focus on. My expectations are low. My expectation is that it's going to be a really bumpy Sunday for the Saints offense. You've got an offensive line that is not blocking. You've got wide receivers that are not catching the football. You've got a running game that has been inconsistent, sometimes good, sometimes not, sometimes abandoned. And you've got a defense that's getting gashed. It's not a good ecosystem for a starting quarterback. And that's something that we can get into this game preview on Thursday, get into this game preview on Friday, look at when we see this game on Sunday. But the fact of the matter is that I'm choosing today to look at this and go, okay, you're turning over a new leaf that you hope is something that is a big, big change in this organization. Tyler Shough has a lot of things that you really like. He's got some things like the old Bill Parcells quarterback thing. He wants somebody that's big, that's physical, that started a lot in college. And now the whole world's different from an NFL quarterback perspective than when Bill Parcells said that. And most quarterbacks are really good athletes. Shough can move a little bit. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Kyler Murray. He's not going to go play Major League Baseball and go play in the NFL. But he's a good athlete. He's got enough arm. He played a ton of college football. He's not young or inexperienced. He is mature. And he's not being thrust into something that he's completely unprepared for early in the season. He's seen NFL game weeks. He's seen NFL game days. He's listened to NFL play calls and halftime adjustments and all those types of things. You've given him a little time to season. Now he's going to have an opportunity to go out there and play. And like for the purposes of this segment, like that is an eye-opening and exciting thing. Because if you can get the quarterback right, you can put things around it. If you can, and you're talking about a rookie deal here that's very inexpensive. So pie in the sky, eternal optimist, but being truthful, like this could be a start of something great in New Orleans. Could be that Spencer Rattler's the starter in a month because things are just awful. I'm not sitting here trying to preach complete empty positivity. I know what the risks are, but you also have to acknowledge what the upside is. And you've finally taken a quarterback early, and if you can get that right, it's not like having, an all-world running back whose shelf life may only be 4 or 5 years. It's getting a quarterback whose shelf life is like 10 or 12. And then you start to build the pieces around it. And eventually you have to pay the quarterback, and that's a decision you really hope you have to make. But Sunday's a big deal for the Saints organization. And I'm going into it with low expectations because Tyler Shough goes out there and goes 17-31 for 160 and a pick. That doesn't mean he's a bust. This is a Rams defense that's nasty and a Saints offense that's not very good. But if you see a spark, if you see something that gives you positivity, it's that high you're chasing of thinking, all right, we got the guy. And there are organizations that do it better than most. Green Bay does it better than all of them. But there are also organizations that really struggle to figure it out. Cincinnati, Buffalo. And they did. And things go right really quickly. So, again, I wanted to spend today's show, today's Saints segment, today's monologue on New Orleans in a positive frame of mind of like, okay, let's turn this leaf over. Let's see what it looks like. And guess what? You also have a little something in your back pocket here. If you want to, this is a positive segment, still a positive segment. But if you want to go with an insurance policy, call up the Howard Insurance Group, insurance policy here. The insurance policy you have, and what is insurance for? It's for a catastrophe. If there's a catastrophe here, and you've got 8 games of Spencer Rattler and 9 games of Tyler Shough, and both are awful, and you win 2 games, what's your insurance policy? You pick first in the draft. So at this point, it's really tough to be cranky. If Shough wins 5 games and pulls you out of the top 8 in the draft, well, that's good. If Shough wins 1 game and is not any good, well, here you are at the top of the draft. So at this point, it's relatively easy to choose to be excited with the one caveat I understand and I'm not oblivious to. I understand those that hate the general manager and think nothing's going to change until he's gone. I get it. I'm not talking about Mickey today. We're talking about Shough. We're talking about the quarterback. If he's good, that's good. If he's bad, there might be some good in that. But at least you're going to find out one way or another as you move forward with Tyler Shough as the quarterback. So positive Saints thoughts today. They're 1-7, I know. They're playing the Rams on the road. They're a 2-touchdown underdog, I know. But there's positives on both sides if you want to look at them. That's our look at the New Orleans Saints here on this Wednesday. Brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. When we come back, J.D. Picell, host of The Hard Count on 3 Sports, next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning, remodeling bathrooms and closets. David Duvall's been at it 3 decades. You can trust him. You can trust him with your bathrooms. You can trust him with your closets. You can actually trust him with both at one time. If you've got one of those bathrooms that's got the stand-in shower and also has that big jacuzzi tub, a lot of folks don't use that jacuzzi tub. Instead, they take that stand-in shower out. They put a linen closet right there. David can customize that however you'd like. And they take that space where that big jacuzzi's been occupying, and they put a walk-in shower right there that's got more room. Gorgeous, functional, customized. All of those can be done with One Bath and Closets. He's licensed, bonded, insured, been doing this for 3 decades, and he's got a master plumber on site so that they can handle all of your projects right there at One Bath and Closets. Get that free consultation at One Bath and Closets today. They're online at OneBathAndClosets.com. It's David Duvall and One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
Need security services you can count on? With Veteran Security Services, you're always protected. Locally owned and proudly serving the Gulf Coast, they're not some big national firm chasing profits. They're neighbors protecting neighbors. From petrochemical plants and healthcare facilities to port and maritime operations, Veteran Security delivers reliable protection you can trust. Choose community. Choose confidence. Choose Veteran Security Services. Visit veteransecurityfirm.com.
While Louisiana politics can seem like they're from another planet, Moon Griffon isn't afraid to bring politicians back down to earth. Listen to the Moon Griffon Show weekday mornings at 9 on Talk 107.3.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team color, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Children's School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to Dream.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Well, it is October the 29th, and I've got people tweeting at me with FlightAware stuff. So that's where we are with LSU football currently. Everyone's convinced that Saban's plane is in Baton Rouge. I'm not paying attention to that. Let's see if J.D. Picell is paying attention to that. He's the host of The Hard Count on 3 Sports with us every single Wednesday. Is it FlightAware season in your world yet, or is that just us down here?
Yeah, not yet over here, but it's definitely make him say no season over here, which is fun. Like, hey, call Urban Meyer, make him say no. And so that's kind of a fun part of the world to be in right now. But tracking flights is, I feel like, something we usually have reserved historically for like late November, early December. So the fact that it's already hit your part of the world is obviously not what we thought we'd be in the preseason, but nonetheless, it's college football in 2025, it seems. Good to talk to you, man.
What happened to the Tigers this year? Because you picked them to win the national championship, silly you.
Yeah, what an idiot. What does this guy know? Are you kidding me? Get him off the airwaves, Hunt. I mean, how long do you have? There's a lot. So see, I'll just start by saying this. I've seen a lot of people on social media saying I was wrong about Brian Kelly, I was way off about Brian Kelly, and it's like, yeah, everyone was off about Brian Kelly, but like I don't apologize at all for thinking he was going to work at LSU. Like I don't apologize for a second because it all made complete sense, and it still makes complete sense. It's just the fact of the matter is that the guy seemingly, based on everything we're hearing now, took his hands off the wheel in Baton Rouge and wasn't able to get a talented roster to play well together and play well enough to go, win the level they expect to win at. So I don't buy. You have a better gauge on this than me, Hunt. I don't buy into the idea that the fake accent stuff and the cringy social media stuff is the reason why he wasn't successful at LSU. Like, it probably sped up the process as to, hey, you're not really one of us. We don't really want to hang around with you right now. That probably is true. But I think he got fired because he wasn't winning football games. And that's a whole deep dive we can do. But at the end of the day, didn't feel like LSU was playing for Brian Kelly. Didn't feel like there was good cohesion across the board roster-wise. And also the offensive line was just not very good. So there's a number of factors there that combined to a $53 million buyout in the conversation we're having now.
Yeah, I mean, the conversation's been ramping down here, as you can imagine. I choose to go with the stuff I know as opposed to the speculation. I choose to go with I know who he hired. I know what the product on the field looked like, and none of that appeared to be good enough to me. I'm very skeptical of the golf course talk. I've talked to people about that and don't think it's necessarily true. I don't know anything about the beach, and I don't know anything about when he showed up to the office or when he left and all that kind of stuff. But they seem to be recruiting pretty well. They played pretty good defense early in the season against some struggling offenses, and it just all fell apart when they played some better teams. What did you see on Saturday night?
On Saturday night, I saw a crescendo of the problems that we've really seen since, what would you say, Ole Miss? It's kind of the first time it really became an issue. I know there was signs throughout the year, but that offensive line and the way they got done up against Vanderbilt, to me, was a big concern heading into this game for A&M. A&M was getting pressure, as you saw, Hunt, with 4 dudes. But there wasn't anything extra exotic. They weren't bringing the house. It was, we got 4 guys that are making your 5 guys a life and a place that you would like to forget right now in this current game we're in. And that's kind of the nature of the beast here when it comes to what LSU is doing on the offensive side. There's no push. There was no physicality. There was no nothing. And then on the defensive side, you didn't have an answer for Marcel Reed, which, I don't want to be Captain Obvious here as we're talking ball on this fine Wednesday afternoon, but legitimately what he was able to do, even when LSU was right, they were wrong because of the way that he was able to make plays out of structure. And there was no LSU attitude, if that makes sense. There's no persona that we come to know LSU by on that side of the football. There was no pride. There was no aggression. It was shocking to me to see that because we saw it against Clemson. We saw it at different points throughout the year, but maybe no Whit Weeks on the field was the difference. Maybe it's the discussions internal just kind of felt like a sour situation. I don't know all the inner workings, but I do know Marcel Reed had his way, and it seemed like there was no reaction that was suitable to take care of him on the defense side of the football when it comes to trying to get him on the ground.
Who do you think the best team in the SEC is?
I think it's A&M. I really do, and I know Bama's an answer that would probably serve well in that question. I know Ole Miss looked awesome, but I'm so impressed by the ability for Texas A&M to reset. For them to have the punt block, to have 2 picks in the first half, to be down at half, to be at that place at night, and all those things, and then to just reset without a hitch, without having those negative plays become a thing for them in the second half. That to me just said so much about what they are psychologically, which has kind of been the hang-up for A&M in previous years, as you well know, Hunt. So I think it's the persona, it's the personnel, it's all those things. I think A&M is the best team in the SEC right now.
What do you make of Ole Miss?
I think Ole Miss, the thing that scares me with Ole Miss if I have to play them down the stretch here is Lane Kiffin has proven with a Division II quarterback, he's not playing like a D2 quarterback, but he is able to score points. He doesn't care who you are. Could be Kirby Smart and Glenn Schumann at your place. Could be Brent Venables at his place. It does not matter. And so if I am drafting game planners for one game, Lane Kiffin might be my number 1 overall pick just because of what he's been able to do and almost play chess to the next level when it comes to lining up against Oklahoma and waiting until they get within 15 seconds of the play clock so they can't read the signs. And just all the next level stuff that he's able to do, in addition to just drawing a good picture offensively and able to get guys the ball in space. I think Ole Miss and the offensive firepower they have right now, they can score with anybody in college football.
Do you think he's going to be the Ole Miss coach next year?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And I don't think that the Ole Miss job in a vacuum is a better job than Florida or LSU. I think that the Ole Miss job right now is a better job for Lane Kiffin because of the way he has it humming, because of what he gets that he asks for, personnel-wise and resource-wise. And I think he's at a place, too, which hearing him talk and seeing him tweet, which is, not an exact science, but doesn't he just kind of feel like a guy that's happy where he's at and is content with where he's at? He talked a lot in his documentary about, wanting to have a statue in front of a stadium and be the youngest head coach and do X, Y, and Z, and just kind of cooling off of that idea a little bit here as he's gotten older and maybe just progressed in his own career and gone through some things. All of that talk paired with the fact that, hey, if you keep doing what you're doing at Ole Miss right now, you'll get a statue. I don't know why he would leave Ole Miss outside of the appeal for a logo and maybe they'd throw too much money at him to where he just can't say no. But I think he's going to stay at Ole Miss personally, Hunt.
All right, let's talk about games coming up this weekend. Vanderbilt at Texas. I guess nobody's really doubting Vanderbilt anymore at this point. Do you feel like they're going to go down there and win? They're an underdog.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. Nobody's doubting Vanderbilt except for me, Hunt. Because I keep saying every week, I'm like talking out of both sides of the mouth. I'm like, Vanderbilt's good. They're good not just for Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's having a great year. They're a top 10 team. Give me LSU. Give me Missouri. I'm saying it again this week. Give me Texas. So I'll take Texas to win. I think the personnel is too good. I think the spot's a little bit weird for Vandy. I think Texas finds a way to get them. But if I'm wrong about Vandy, there'd be nothing there.
Miami at SMU. Hurricanes 2-1 in the league. SMU is 3-1 in the league. Rhett Lashley's name's getting talked about a little bit for other jobs. It's an early game in Dallas. What do you think about that one?
I think the spot here for Miami is interesting because end of last year, Hunt, they were in this exact same spot. Like they were undefeated. They were a college football playoff team in everyone's mind, and then they lost 2 of their last 3. I think evaluating the professional mindset of this team down the stretch is something to keep an eye on. For me personally, I think that all the portal pieces they have and being able to make that work here down the stretch and keep everyone locked in is something to keep an eye on. I think they'll actually be able to respond the right way from that loss to Louisville a couple of weeks ago. I think they've reset well against Stanford. I think they'll reset well on the road against SMU. And I don't have a lot of confidence in SMU to match the physicality, at least on the offensive side of the ball, with what Miami's bringing to the table there. So if Kevin Jennings pulls a rabbit out of the hat, I don't think it'd be the most surprising thing in the world, but I think SMU falls at home. Miami wins, Miami covers.
Couple of P4 teams that are undefeated in the league will go on the road this week. Georgia Tech's headed to NC State, who's just 4-4, 1-3 in the league, but that's only a 5.5-point spread. And Cincinnati is going to Utah to play a 3-2 Utah team in the Big 12. What do you think about those two teams and their chances that it could be upset?
I think Cincinnati's going to win that football game. First of all, what was the other game you mentioned? I didn't hear the first.
Georgia Tech at NC State.
Georgia Tech. I don't know what to make of Georgia Tech, Hunt. I think we talked about it last week, but they're just laboring through the schedule. So I think Georgia Tech wins. I think Cincinnati wins, but I think that the whole deal with the way that Brent Keys calls the show and the line of scrimmage and all those things, like they have things that feel like they're going to travel. So as long as Haynes King is able to stay alive the rest of this season, I think they'll be a team that's in the ACC title game and in the college football playoff. And I think Cincy this weekend is going to announce themselves as a Big 12 title contending team and potentially a playoff team by that margin.
Last one, Oklahoma at Tennessee. Josh Heupel hosting his alma mater this time instead of going there. Vols 3.5-point favorite, kind of good on good with Tennessee offense and Oklahoma defense. What you think?
I think that the Oklahoma offense, if you were looking for a secondary to get right against, being a team in Tennessee that's given up 281 a game is probably a sight for sore eyes. I just think that Ole Miss maybe exposed some things last weekend against Oklahoma and how to get the ball out against pressure and all those things. I think it's high scoring, but I think that Tennessee is going to ultimately just have too much in the tank offensively. If Oklahoma's going to win this game, it's going to take something we haven't seen from them against the Power 4 team on the offensive side. The most they've scored against anybody this year with the Power 4 logo has been 26. So if 26 is the number to beat for Tennessee, I think that we have a good day at the office and we protect home field with those dark mode uniforms on their bodies too. The little blackout unis protect Tennessee. I think that's something that looks good and plays good and feels good for Tennessee after a win.
All right, I'm getting back to watching airplanes, so I'll let you know how that goes, and we'll talk next week.
Hey, good country song there, too.
That is.
Not a bad one. Appreciate you, brother. Best of luck. Hey, keep fighting the good fight, all right? Keep fighting the good fight. We'll get through this together. I'm in the foxhole with you, brother.
We'll do what we can. He's JD Picell, host of The Hard Count on 3 Sports. Check out his YouTube channel there on the On 3 YouTube channel, wherever you find your podcast. The Hard Count. JD Picell is with us on Wednesdays. We will step aside when we come back. SEC Football Power Rankings. Where are the Tigers? It's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Renaissance, built by Renaissance.com, Renaissance Homes and Pools. Too late now to get into the pool for the summertime. We're now fully into the fall. But the folks at Renaissance Homes and Pools want to help you get into the pool of your dreams for next spring and summer. Whether you're looking for a big pool with rock features and slides, all that, they can handle it. Just want a little cocktail pool. As you enter your retirement years, you can do that as well. Want one for the grandkids, want sunbathing area, they can do that. Customized, whatever you like. And you can do that with the folks at Renaissance Homes and Pools. Joey Blanchard is awesome. He is local. He's the owner of the company, and he's going to be with you every step of the way. That's what you love about working with small local businesses. He's helped dozens and dozens and dozens of families get the pool and outdoor entertaining area, kitchen of their dreams. He can do it with you. Sit down with him, have the consultation, go through the design phase, go through the digging of the pool, pouring of the pool, finishing of the pool, and right there with a local company every step of the way. It's Renaissance Homes and Pools. Just look at some pictures of their awesome work built by Renaissance.com. You can also fill out the Contact Us page right there. They'll reach out to you. Start that process now so you can get into the pool of your dreams for the spring of 2026. It's Renaissance Homes and Pools. They're online at builtbyrenaissance.com.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
When it comes to pipe fabrication, time is money. And at River Parish Contractors, we make every second count. Our 36,000 square foot shop is ready to take on your projects right now. With experienced welders, precise fittings, and fast turnarounds you can trust. Whether it's a single custom spool or a full-scale run, we have the capacity and the skill to keep your job on schedule. Call us or visit rpcontractors.com for your quote. That's rpcontractors.com.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Trust isn't given, it's earned by showing up, leading the way, and performing at your best when it matters most. Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Wednesday show is brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. Been a busy Wednesday show. Ed Orgeron tossed his name in the ring for LSU's head coaching opening and answered a question about whether or not he'd be open to a return as an assistant for Lane Kiffin. Talked about that at the top of the show. You can also find that at Hunt on LSU, wherever you find your podcast, wherever you find us on YouTube as well. Talked about Tyler Shough and opportunity for him to turn over a new leaf in the Saints franchise coming up. You can find that at Hunt on Saints. Right now, bottom of hour number 2 on Wednesday. That means it's time for our SEC football power rankings.
Hunt's SEC Power Rankings.
Texas A&M! I moved the Aggies back into the top spot this week. I just saw it from my own eyes. It was good. I think Alabama's very good as well. But Texas A&M has been volleyballing back and forth with Bama. The defense is ferocious up front. Marcel Reed's playing great. I realize he did turn the ball over twice against LSU, but one of those was not necessarily his fault. It was a great play by Delane. Bad throw in the end zone, but they're good. They run the ball. They stop the run. Their defense is a little concerning, but Elko's a good coach, and they're phenomenal on third down. So I got the Aggies number 1.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Tide bumps back to number 2. They struggled a little bit with South Carolina, but they still got a quarterback that's playing really well. Their defense has been good enough at times. I think they can run it. I think they get a little bit too cute trying to go ahead and put the left tackle at running back, but I think Alabama's very good, and I think they've got a chance to win the whole thing.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia's kind of sneaking around the chicken coop here, a little bit lying in the weeds, a little bit below the radar at this point. They've still got just one loss. I think they're pretty good, but nobody's really talking about them. I think they're third best in the league.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
I still think Ole Miss's team was better last year than it is this year. But they're good enough to beat LSU. They're good enough to go on the road and play right there with Georgia. They're good enough to go punk Oklahoma in the second half. It's a good team. Trinidad Chambliss has become the fit there at quarterback. That's a solid squad, and I think they're going 11-1, and that's may not be good enough to get them to the SEC championship game, but it's plenty enough to get them in the playoff.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
This is a high watermark for the Vanderbilt Commodores. They beat Missouri last week, and now I've got them up at number 5. It's a gritty offense. It's a gritty defense. They do what they want to do. They keep scores low. I don't think they're a national championship contender, but I think they're good. I got them 5th.
The Oklahoma Sooners.
I backed the Sooners up to 6. I think they probably could be lower than this, quite frankly, but it wasn't like they got blown out by Ole Miss. They were in the game into the fourth quarter. They took a lead in the fourth quarter, and then they couldn't hold it. So I think Mateer's okay. I think the defense is pretty good, but I take Lane Kiffin over just about any defense in college football at this point. OU probably not going to the playoff, but they're good.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
These teams play each other this week. We'll kind of find out. They both got 2 losses in the conference, so kind of a tiebreaker there. Tennessee really can throw it. Their defense is okay. They don't run it as good as they did last year, but I like the Vols.
The Missouri Tigers.
Missouri, I've got to back up here. Now without Bo Prabula, probably for the rest of the regular season. That's a big deal. Hopefully he comes back. It sounds like they got some good injury news on Sunday into Monday, but still he's going to miss some time. They don't ever win the big game. They're in the big game. They play with Alabama, okay. They play with Vanderbilt, okay. I mean, you beat Auburn, whatever. But it's just they don't win enough, so they're right there at the bottom of the top half of the league at 8.
The LSU Tigers.
I mean, I don't know. I got them at 9. Is that too high? It might be. The defense isn't what we thought. The offense ran the ball in the first half against A&M and then quit trying to run the ball. They don't make big plays as a wide receiver. The quarterback hadn't been very good. Maybe this is way too high, but there's significant flaws the rest of the way, so it is what it is.
The Auburn Tigers.
Well, Auburn looks better when they take Jackson Arnold out of the game. They played good in the second half against the bad Arkansas defense. I don't know if it's worth of being 10th, but I don't have any more good teams. I'm out of good teams to put in the power rankings when I get to this part. So Auburn has a pretty good defense. They've played everybody tough. They just lose a lot, so I got them at 10.
The Texas Longhorns.
I mean, how much credit am I giving for going to Starkville and falling down 17 in the second half? I mean, they won the game. That's nice. Arch threw for a lot of yards. That's nice. But you should have lost. So I can't move you up. You just are what you are. You're 11.
The Florida Gators.
This is best of the worst territory down here. Florida's defensive front is still good. Jaden Ball is still good. DJ Lagway's okay. They don't have a coach. Do I think they're going to win another game? They might, but it's just not a very good team.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
I mean, just perpetual losers. I probably should have put Mississippi State above them. They haven't won anything. They lost. They had a lead against Auburn and then couldn't hold it at home. They're playing hard. They do score some points. 13th.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
I mean, yeah, you led by 17. You led by 17 points against Texas. You were scoring points. You looked like a good offense against a very talented defense. And then you got a lead. You're in your own stadium, and you pee down your leg. I don't know what else to tell you. You're not good. You're in 14th.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
I mean, you fought hard. Again, I feel like I'm a dismissive step-parent or something. Like, I just can't give a lot of love to these teams that choke every week. South Carolina, you're right there. You got an 8-point lead. You're late in the ball game. Get one stop. They didn't even think about getting a stop. They went right down the field, got the 2-point conversion, and stopped and went right down the field and scored. Forget it.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
How is Mark Stoops still employed? How? On what level is he still employed? They never win. 0 for a million. It's basketball season. Nobody's even paying attention. Fire the man. Give him his buyout. Let him go. It's going to be a big Christmas in the Stoops house, but they're not winning a league game, so they're 16th. Those are your SEC football power rankings. Texas A&M 1, Alabama 2, Georgia in the 3 spot, then Ole Miss. Those are my 4 playoff teams from the SEC. A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss. Then you got right on the outside Vanderbilt and Oklahoma 5-6. Tennessee is 7th. Missouri is 8th. LSU there at 9th, and the rest of these teams, including LSU, not very good. Auburn 10th, Texas 11th, Florida 12th. Got Arkansas 13th, Mississippi State coming in 14th, and on South Carolina 15th. Kentucky at 16th. That's your look at your SEC football power rankings. Jordan, you have any significant issues with what I've done here?
I'm not a fan of Oklahoma being so high. I just don't see it at all with Oklahoma, even though it's necessarily not high because they're 6 out of 16.
Yeah.
You know, but Oklahoma.
I mean, they've played 2 good teams and they've lost.
You know, John Mateer.
Lost to Texas. He was hurt. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
is he still hurt? I don't know. Is Nussmeier hurt? I don't know.
No.
Once I get past 5, I'm going to give Vandy credit. Give Vandy credit. They played well.
Yeah.
Their one loss is in Tuscaloosa, and they were in the game. They turned it over in the red zone twice. Beyond that, I got real problems with everybody 6 through 16.
Yeah.
And it's just
yeah.
I mean, could I make a case LSU should be 12th? Sure.
Yes, you could.
I could. But LSU also handled Florida and handled South Carolina, and handled who's the other team they handled?
In the SEC?
Oh, that's it?
I'm about to say that's about it.
Whoops.
Other than Clemson.
That's disappointing. Yeah, Clemson counts.
I'm about to say that's it.
Whatever. I mean, did you sense in I didn't even mean to feel apathetic in those power rankings, but that's just kind of where I was. That's the point. Like, that's where we're sitting here tracking airplanes to see if Saban's in town.
And
I'm writing stories about who's not going to be the coach.
Yeah.
They got a game to play against Bama next week. There are times where at this point in this bye week, halfway through the week, I'm already trying to stay. I'm diving into Bama prep. And this week's no one even talks about us LSU playing Bama.
And it's crazy because I actually feel I know you don't feel the same way, but I feel very, very confident about the interim boost against Bama. I feel confident. I feel so I haven't felt this confident since Clemson week 1. I was like, no, we're going to beat Clemson. I feel confident. You know what? I'm going to retract a little bit. I'm going to come back. We'll cover. Whatever the spread will be, LSU will cover.
Here's what you'll get out of me on that. My confidence level right now, none. Blowout, awful.
Oh, no.
Give me Bama minus a 5.5 all day long. The Lionel Richie sing it to me all night long. Next Friday, I'll do my show.
Yes.
I'll head home. Probably going to cook something up for dinner. I might have a couple of Flight by Yinglings.
Should.
I might have a couple scotches. You don't know. I'm on the couch. The kids are in bed.
You work hard.
Scotch number 2, I might start thinking, we get a couple turnovers.
It could,
You never know. It could go to Tuscaloosa. It could play them tough. That'll be the first time I have confidence in LSU against Alabama. It'll be 4 drinks in next Friday. And then I'll wake up and they'll shake the cobwebs and I'll go, well, that was stupid. No. But that's the confidence. That's the only confidence you're going to get out of me for LSU going to Tuscaloosa. The way that defense is playing, the way that offense is playing.
Yeah. And look, and when you be logical with it, I have no rebuttal. All right, if we want to be logical, yes, Alabama's better at every aspect of the game than LSU. But just something about you're back against the wall, you're a wounded animal, you're going into enemy lines. You got Frank Wilson's going to fire him up. We know Brian Kelly ain't going to fire him up. Frank Wilson's going to fire him up. That first quarter, I can't tell you what the second, third, or fourth going to look like, but that first quarter, they're going to be flying around. It's going to be hot. They're going to be hot.
They played them tough. What year they had no business going there and doing anything? 2021. Yeah. Orgeron had been fired. And they went out there and they played. I mean, Max had a chance with one ball to the end zone to give LSU a lead in that game. I mean, but
look,
my confidence right now, not looking good.
Look, again, logically, yes, I totally agree with you, but just something about the interim boost, man. I seen Rizzy. I seen the Rizzy magic.
Those Friday night cocktails, though, they're powerful beasts. They can get you feeling like, I think we got these guys. And then you wake up and you're like, what was that? That was wrong. Let's come back and close it out next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Genesis of Baton Rouge, genesisofbatonrouge.com. America's best warranty comes with every new Genesis purchase. You can get that 10-year powertrain warranty, 100,000 miles, that new vehicle bumper-to-bumper warranty, 5 years, 60,000 miles. Nobody likes car issues. Nobody likes when that light comes on or you got to deal with that maintenance. But with that America's best warranty at Genesis of Baton Rouge, that 5 year, $60,000 bumper-to-bumper warranty is going to help you out and give you the peace of mind to know you're not going to be breaking the bank, fix a car issue. You've got 24/7 roadside assistance, 5 years unlimited miles. You got complimentary scheduled valet maintenance for 3 years, 36,000 miles. This is as good as it gets. It's part of the Genesis experience. It's a luxury brand at a reasonable price. So go by and see them, Airline at Pico. Amazing facility, amazing people, and an amazing line of vehicles at Genesis of Baton Rouge. Find them online, genesisofbatonrouge.com.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Banking on the go? Our mobile app makes it effortless. But at Campus Federal, you're more than just an account number. We build relationships with our members, supporting you from saving for college to owning your first home. If you're buying a car, planning a home renovation, or a vacation, we're here to help. Campus Federal Credit Union, your trusted financial partner for every stage of life. Start your journey today.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Ben Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Wednesday show is brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools, built by Renaissance.com, built by Renaissance.com. This is one of those deals that I don't have any information other than the quote and no time at all to get into it. Matt will certainly do a lot more on this between 3 and 6 this evening. But Jeff Landry, governor of Louisiana, is at a press conference right now, and there is a quote that has been now typed and tweeted by various people in media, Jeff Palermo, Glenn Gilbo, various people, so this is not something that's fake. If multiple people are saying he said it in a press conference, he said it. Scott Woodward will not be hiring LSU's next head football coach. That is directly from the governor's mouth. So that, to me, tells you everything you need to know about Scott Woodward's future at LSU. If the athletic director is not hiring the football coach, the athletic director is not going to be employed very much longer. Like that, I don't know any way to say it more clearly. So if the governor comes out and says he's not hiring the football coach, then, I mean, it would blow my mind if the board of supervisors chose a football coach and they just kept the athletic director there to wear a sport coat at the football game. I don't know. That seems to me to be the most important job of the athletic director. So the first part of that is factual. Jeff Landry said that Scott Woodward's not hiring the football coach. The second part is me editorializing. That means Scott Woodward is not going to be here very much longer. If I'm wrong on that, I will gladly come to the microphone and go, yeah, I was wrong about that. I just took that out of context and didn't understand actually what the governor was saying. But it seems pretty clear to me. And again, I have 3 minutes left in the show, so I can't expound on that or give any more color to it. I like Scott Woodward. I think Scott Woodward's done a lot of really good things at LSU, but it's obvious what's happening here with the governor, with the board of supervisors, with the new president selection coming here very shortly. And then the quote we just heard, Jeff Landry say, Scott Woodward will not be hiring the next football coach. It's pretty clear here. So a massive, massive shift is afoot here at LSU with the administration, athletically, and with the next football coach and the hierarchy over there. So here we are in Baton Rouge. Got some take it or leave it, Jordan?
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Presented to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer, crafted by America's oldest brewery. Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
Flight by Yingling, next generation of light beer. Looking to throw back a couple of cold ones. Nothing better, more delicious than Flight by Yingling. Only 2.6 carbs, 95 calories only. It's everything you're looking for in the light beer, but it's got that great flavor that you're looking for as well from America's oldest brewery. It's Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
All right, we're going to come in hot with this one. Willie Green will be fired next week. Take it or leave it.
I mean, I'm going to leave it. They're going to fire him at 0-7.
Yes,
it's 7 games. Well, then why did he start the season?
You're saying the right questions. I've been asking the same thing since April. So, yeah, no, get him out of here. What's that TikTok? Lock him up. Let's get him out of here.
Don't have TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I get some views on TikTok, I'm told, by the Spazzali ladies, but I don't know anything.
Get him out of here. All right, next. Well, Harlem Berry and Caden Durham will each have over 10 carries versus Bama. Take it or leave it.
Take it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take it. I'm going to write a story about that tomorrow morning for LouisianaSports.net. The only thing that I have gleaned of football substance from Frank Wilson's 2 meetings with the media, he certainly talks about galvanizing the team. That's very important with the fragile nature of losing a coach. He's talked about the roles of each staffer, and that's changed on offense a little bit. And then you've got the love that he has for LSU and all that. None of that's material on the field. He has said with a smile on his face, we're going to run the ball. And he's the running back coach. He will still determine who is going to play at running back, and you're going to see Harlem Berry get absolutely 10 touches in Tuscaloosa after what we saw in the first half against A&M, and I think Caden Durham will as well. So I'm all in on that. They're gonna run the ball a lot in Tuscaloosa. I don't know how well they're gonna run it. Those are two very different things. But they're gonna run it a lot.
All right. Is the Texas A&M fan base more annoying than Vol Nation? Take it or leave it.
Vol Nation?
Vol Nation, Tennessee Volunteers.
Oh, take it. A&M is more annoying to me. I'll take it. I don't know any Tennessee fans, and they sing Rocky Top a lot, which is goofy. But
I also think they're the pinnacle of baseball.
Well, they know that's not true. That's just ridiculous. Rocky Talk's good twice. It's bad 38 times like they do it. A&M just got way too much going on with all that stuff. That's not even close to me.
All right. Ooh, we got one from Cassie over here. Did Landry Kiffin cause LSU's downfall? Take it or leave it.
I'm gonna leave it. I don't know that she got in there and infiltrated for Lane and destroyed the program. I just think it's two young folks in love. What a beautiful thing, and the LSU football team not as beautiful as that currently. So not gonna rag Landry too much. Her dad's in a good spot. Her dad's gonna get a lot of money, and I think Landry's gonna inherit a lot of money one day. But I don't think she infiltrated the LSU football program and brought it down from within.
I'm just saying, we were fine before they announced they were dating.
I think there are ulterior motives going on over there. I can't speak to that directly, but I just feel like there might be something disingenuous coming. So we'll just leave it at that, huh?
Yeah, we'll leave it. We'll leave it. And that's it for take it or leave it.
All right, good deal. That's it for our Wednesday show. News of the day, obviously, that I had no time to talk about, is that Jeff Landry has said Scott Woodward will not make this hire. Matt, I'm certain, is going to spend a lot of time on that, and he's coming up. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. I will write that up at LouisianaSports.net, and then we'll certainly talk about it tomorrow. But there's a huge shift coming with LSU's athletic program and certainly with the football program, and that was made abundantly clear a very, very short time ago. So here we go. We'll see how that all shakes out, and we'll be covering it every step of the way at LouisianaSports.net and right here. Missed any of today's show? Catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. Heard something from Ed Orgeron. Does he want to come back? We'll see if the Board of Supervisors hires him. I'm out of here. Matt's going to drive you home on After Further Review. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, for a Thursday edition of The Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are.